everybody. This is Kim Nicholson from kimnick.com at Rediscover Wellness. And today I've got a wonderful podcast for you. So I want to ask you a couple questions. What do you want to be doing? Where do you see yourself? What's your passion? These are simple questions that have the power to strike fear into those of us who are either empty nesters or going to take an early retirement or who are in retirement. It's a scary thought to think you've got the rest of your life and really what's your purpose? What's going to get you up in the morning? We fear these questions because we don't have an answer. But yet it's such an important thing to consider. You're probably familiar with the concept of passion. It's something that gets you excited. It's something that you feel strongly about. People who know their passion make time to pursue it. They also are very confident and more optimistic about aging, about the next chapter in their life, and about their future. Through my research on passion, one step that I came across that I thought was really interesting was that if you don't know what your passion is to find somebody who does have a passion. And that's my special guest for today. She is a long-time close friend of mine. Her name is Mona Agia, and she lives in Montreal. And I'd like to introduce everybody to her. And she has been an inspiration from the moment that I met her on the tennis court. So Mona, welcome to Rediscover Wellness, and I really appreciate you being here with us today. So as you well know, we're talking about passion. And when I first met you, I think you had taken an early retirement, I think, didn't you?
Yes.
Yeah. And from your early retirement, obviously you were spending some time on the tennis courts with me.
Yes.
But then you started your passion and it continued through today. So can you tell me how it all started for you and tell us what your passion is?
Sure, Kim. Thank you, first of all, for inviting me.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure to see you again on the screen. So
Yes, I know, virtual hug.
yes, a virtual hug. I retired, and I was worried because I was a businesswoman who was very dedicated to the company I was working for. So I looked at pre-retirement as being scary. But a friend of mine from the same company said to me, "Why don't you go and take a course in painting?" I said, "You're kidding me. I've never painted in my whole life, never took a pencil in my hand or drew at all my life.
Amazing.
It is not at my age now that I'm going to start learning." She said, "You are wrong. And please take one course. And if you don't like it, you would have tried." So I said, "Okay, I will do that." So I signed up 2 days before retiring.
Oh
I
my gosh.
signed up for the course, and I decided to go and attended the course, which was a semester. And I haven't looked back.
That's
I have
amazing.
not, it was hard at the beginning because I
Mhm.
didn't know how to paint, I didn't know how to draw. But I've learned, and I've been coached by many wonderful teachers at the Visual Arts Center in Montreal, in Westmount. And so for me, it was like a new beginning.
Yeah, and that's amazing to me. So basically, when I met you is when you started taking the painting
Yes,
classes.
yes, absolutely.
That's right. I forgot about that. I thought you were so good from the very beginning, though. I know you just said you hadn't painted before, but I mean, I have some of your paintings. I know what you can do, and they're
Yes.
amazing. They were amazing back then. But I don't want to jump to that end yet because I
No,
want our listeners
okay.
to hear your whole story. So let me ask you this. So when you started into painting, did you ever doubt yourself? I mean, like, like, for me, how would I know what my passion would be? How did you know that was something that you were going to stick with?
It took me a number of years. I have to say, I have to be honest. I doubted myself for sure because obviously I'm not the painter I am today. So for sure, I had ups and downs, and I said, "Is it worth it?" Then in the back of my mind, I would say, well, maybe it is worth it if I keep on, and will try to see where it leads me. And 20 odd years later, I'm still painting.
I know. That is
I'm
absolutely.
enjoying it.
Well, the other thing, obviously, because I know you took classes all along. Do you still take
Yes,
classes, by the way, or you got to that point where,
classes.
well,
No,
you
I
teach
still
classes
take
now too?
classes. I
You
still
still do?
Yes, ma'am.
That's
20 years, 22 years, and I still take from time to time class because one learns all the time.
yeah. Well, now I know that through your painting, through your passion of painting, it has opened up other opportunities too. I know that you've met wonderful friends through
Yes,
your paintings.
yes,
I know that you have traveled and
yes.
you coordinate painting trips. Can you tell us about that? And are you still
Sure.
doing that, by the way? Are you
What?
are you still going to like
Yes,
Spain and
I just
Italy?
finished a trip last month,
Oh my gosh. Tell
two
us how
weeks
you got
ago.
started in that, because that is
2 weeks
really
ago.
fascinating. Even though I'm not a
In
painter, I would have loved to have gone.
in 2011, I decided somebody in my class was at the Visual Arts Center said, "Mona, why don't you do something like a painting trip?" And I said, "You know what? Why not?" She said, "I'll be your first customer." I said, "You're on." And she threw me a challenge. And so I said, "Okay, I'm going to choose the destination and I'm going to organize it from A to Z." So
That's
I
amazing.
did that, and it was Italy in Tuscany in 2011.
I remember that.
And I haven't stopped since.
Oh my goodness. So you've continued on through the years with these
Yes,
painting classes.
every year I would have, except for 2016, when I had 3 trips that year. One was to Vietnam and Cambodia, one was
Yes.
to Paris, and one was to Italy, to Tuscany again.
That is amazing. And now tell us about those classes. Like, what does the itinerary look like? I mean, roughly, like,
Well,
if we have a
most
listener who wants
important,
to is thinking about maybe going, I'm just
yes,
want them to kind
what's
of know what to expect.
important is the fact that we paint every day. That's the
Ah,
main purpose of the trip, is to paint. So what I do is I plan on a 2-week trip. So
okay.
normally 14 nights, 15 days, or 15 nights, which was the case last month, 16 days. And I plan to have a private bus for us, mini bus, because we're a small group.
Yep.
And we go and visit a place where the people do not know. And in the day, I have a 3-hour planned painting
Wow.
time. And then at the end of the day, we come back to the hotel, and I always prefer to have supper at the hotel so that the group has a sense of friendship and
Yes.
connection, instead of going to restaurants and have everybody go on their own. So it sort of ends the day nicely because you've been with the person around in the group for the whole day, and then
Yeah.
you go and change in your room, and then you come back and you talk about your experience during the day at supper.
That sounds so wonderful.
Yeah.
I love that. Now, if they is there a style of painting? Like if I went on one of these courses with you, obviously I would be a beginner, but is it what type of paint? Does it matter what kind of painting or drawings or anything like
No.
that? No?
First of all, I used to have teachers come on the trip.
Oh,
I don't anymore.
yeah.
And what happens is that the people who come normally would opt for watercolor because it's easy, it's light, and
Yeah.
you can go anywhere and sit anywhere and do watercolor. You have a small kit and a couple of brushes, and you're on.
That
So
makes sense.
that's no problem. You cannot take any oil because it's
Oh,
difficult
good.
for it to dry. It
Yep.
doesn't dry very fast. And so acrylic, some people did acrylic on the trip,
Yeah.
with canvases, but they had to manage to take back the canvases. So
Yeah.
we prefer to have small notebooks, which is about 9 by 12 or even smaller. And some people decide to sketch just
Yeah.
the pen, and that's it. No watercolor. So everybody does their thing, and there is no more any direction to take or anything. They do what they see. Some people are abstract, like
Mhm.
me. I'm
Yeah.
an abstract painter. I've become an abstract painter. So the thing is, they do what they want. And then at the end of the day, they share it with the other people. They show you what they've done. So there is discussion, and there are comments that help the person to
Yeah.
see how it's seen by other people, you know?
So some of these people that come, some are experienced painters, and then
Yes.
others are like would be beginners
completely
like me.
completely beginners.
Oh,
So
they're all
this way, I mean, I have a possibility of going, and which I did this trip, sitting beside someone and saying, do you want to look at this option? Do you want to try this way of doing it? I mean, I'm not there to teach because I'm no teacher, but I can impart my knowledge to the
yeah,
people who are not comfortable yet to do it on their own.
yeah.
So absolutely.
Well, so because this is, I mean, you've got many passions. You're also an incredible cook. I know that. I made your lentil salad the other day, by the way. So thank you for that recipe. It's one of my favorites. And the baklava. I meant to call you because you were gone. I think you were in Spain at the time, but
Yeah.
I'll ask you my question later.
Okay.
But I do. How much time do you think you spend, let's just say weekly, on painting? Um,
It varies. I've been traveling a lot, so I've been painting on the trips as well. So it's really nice when I go to Spain every April. I paint and I go attend classes in Spain, in the city where I'm in. So it keeps me all the time busy painting.
oh my
In
gosh.
Montreal, I have a studio space. So I go and I'm sharing it with three other artists, which is really nice because it helps me be in the mood, to paint. So yesterday, for example, I was at the painting at the studio for 4 hours and I
Wow.
painted nonstop. So it varies, but normally I try to make it at least 10 to 15 hours a week.
That's
Go to the
amazing.
studio and paint. Yeah.
That is so wonderful. Well, to me, I mean, just listening to you now and I knowing all these years and seeing your paintings, it's amazing because your style has changed. I mean, you've kind of
Yes,
found your own style. Um,
absolutely.
by the way, do you have a painting close by that you can share? I love your studio right there, but do you have a
Yes.
painting so we can kind of see?
Yeah, sure. Let me see if you can see it all.
Oh, yes.
I don't know. Oh, hold on.
Yep, right there. That's perfect.
Yeah.
Oh, that is absolutely beautiful.
So
I can use that in my office right here.
I'm a very colorful person. So
Yes. Oh,
it's
no, no, that's beautiful.
this is oil, and I like oil.
Yeah,
I always dabbled in oil, and then I started learning acrylic in 2017. So I'm mixing the two.
well, I'm telling you,
Yeah.
it's you are definitely an artist, and also I know you've been selling some of your paintings now too, so,
Yes.
um, if a listener is interested in your paintings and, in these trips that you take, we'll link it in the podcast below, so everybody will have access to it, so and if they have any questions, we can have
Sure.
them either contact me or, send you
Yes.
an email or something, but I just think that again, finding passion, when you find a passion like you have, it gives you that sense of purpose. It gives you energy. It gives you something to get up in the morning and look forward to.
Absolutely.
And the
No
other
doubt.
bonus that I never really thought of until I was listening to you right now is all the other opportunities that your passion has opened up for you, your
Yes.
friendships, your travels,
Yes.
increasing your own knowledge and improving your own painting style.
And learning languages.
Oh, and learning languages. How many languages do you speak now?
5.
5. I remember when I lived in Montreal and I thought I could speak French until I'd go to the market and then I'd start speaking it and they'd look at me and they'd switch over to English for me. But I guess I wish I could speak one language. Well, Mona, I want to thank you so much for sharing your journey. Like I said, when I started my research on passion, and I started thinking about you because you're somebody who, like I said, retired at a very young age, and you found your passion. You found a purpose. Although you've got many of them, this is just one that stood
Yeah,
out to me.
yeah.
So I know your story not only has it inspired me, but I'm
Thank
hoping it'll inspire so many other people.
You can see my website. It's my whole name, Mona Agia, in small caps, art, A-R-T.
.art, and we'll
Yeah.
also link that below as well so that
Okay.
they can see your beautiful work.
It
Mona,
is really worth it because if you start doubting yourself,
yeah.
you'll never get anywhere. But if you say
Mhm.
to yourself, I'm should not be my harshest critic,
Yep.
and I should let myself, it's only a piece of canvas. If it
Yeah.
doesn't suit me, I can scrap it and paint over it. And one thing to do when you're painting is to
Mhm.
say, I'm going to let go. I'm going to
Oh, that's
just do
interesting.
what I want to do. If it pleases me and it pleases others, it's wonderful.
Yes.
I cannot be criticizing myself and trying to say it has to be perfect, because if it has to be perfect, you better take a picture
Yeah.
and not
Yeah.
paint.
That's a really good point because you're right. I think with some people, because I've asked, I mean, since I've been on this doing this research for passion, and I've asked a lot of people, and uh, they just don't have a passion. Or at least they don't know what it is. And so if they start like you started, you said you weren't very good in the very beginning, but you hung in there, and now look where you are today.
Yeah.
So that's incredible advice, and I agree with you.
And I
So,
also have to say, Kim, that I have a whole sense of respect for you for doing what you're doing.
oh, thank
Honestly,
you.
it's not given to everybody. You really have to, because it is your passion. You really have
Mhm.
to be um, hooked on it to
Yeah,
be able to perform properly
yeah.
and good, in a good way. So I have to take my hat off for you, my friend.
Oh, well, thank you, Mona. I love you dearly. All right, my friend, thank you so much for being with us
It was
today.
a pleasure.
And I'll be contacting you soon because I don't know what I did wrong with my baklava, but I
Okay,
want, I need your help on that too.
no problem at all.
All right.
Thank
Thanks,
you so
Mona, for
much,
being
Kim.
with us today. Take care.
Have a wonderful evening.
Thank you too. Bye
Bye-bye.
bye. And that's it for Kim Nick. Visit Rediscover Wellness. See you next time.